Hello, and hello. How are y'all doing on today? What is today?
Tuesday, baby.
Tuesday. Today is Tuesday. Hold on, y'all. I look a little smeared. Hold on. When this happened? Let me fix my camera real. Let me wipe it off. There I go. The smear is gone. All right, you guys. So shout out to everybody who's here. How are y'all doing on today? Y'all know what it is. Y'all know why we here. So let's get to getting. Now, for those who are new to both our channels and new to the platform, which is called Let's Unload Podcast, this is your girl Sean as one of your hosts, and we have Dina as our other host. Okay, we ain't doing no host and co-host, girl. We just hostesses across the board. Okay,
What she
we are
said?
equal in this thing. All right. So we're going to talk about: do you want marriage, and if you want it, child, baby, are you prepared? Are you
Child.
prepared for what marriage is? So we always gonna backtrack because that's what we do, you know. If you haven't seen the first two, once this video is over and this live, then you go on back over yonder and check out one and two, and you will catch up to see how we got right here to number three. Okay, so this episode number three, and like I said, we're talking about: do you want marriage, and if so, are you prepared for it? So while y'all are coming in, we're gonna wait for YouTube to do its the dizzle. Okay, if you haven't done so already, please go ahead and like the video. Okay, please hit that like button. It is free. It don't cost you a thing to do it. Okay, you got to sign up for it. We don't need to know no pin. All you got to do is just hit that button. Okay, now hitting that button, put your girls up in the algorithm. Okay, and we can get us some new friends over here to talk to us and join in on the conversation. Okay, so now I got all the stuff out the way. We got the housekeeping rules out. Miss Dana, how you doing, friend? How's it going over there? How you feeling?
I'm feeling mighty fine. I
You
mean,
feeling
mighty
mighty
fine.
fine?
Mighty fine.
I see you with your red. Are you already in love season? What's going on with the red red shirt?
I'm already in the love season because I'm loving on me.
Okay,
You know, that's where it starts at first. You just got to reciprocate what I'm already doing. Okay.
all right. And I'm here for all of that and then some. Now, for those who don't know, we've started this icebreaker. So a lot of the icebreaker is, so, before we get deep all into the conversation, gonna have a little icebreaker. Let's get the people time to, come in and have a little light conversation before we get onto the heavy stuff and start unloading and putting it on the table, honey. Miss Dana, what's gonna be our icebreaker for today? What you got?
So I had a thought, and then I started seeing it post and pop up on Facebook. So I was like, okay, let's go for it.
Okay.
So we know that Valentine's Day is quickly approaching. And
Yes.
so the icebreaker of tonight is Valentine's Day. Do you cheat yourself or do you treat yourself? What do you do for yourself?
Oh, how should I answer this? So, like I said, y'all need to go back and look at it. For those who don't know, I'm the married one, and Miss Dina is our single lady, and we are giving both perspectives from both sides of the coin. But she ain't gonna be single long, so hold what you got, okay? Let me tell y'all that.
You heard what she said, y'all. Mark the
Be
date,
single long,
January
okay?
21st.
It ain't gonna be long. So for me, as my husband and I, baby, we don't celebrate Valentine's Day. Now, let me tell you why. All right, hold it. Before the tomatoes start being thrown at me, let me tell you why we don't celebrate Valentine's Day. Now, I look at Valentine's Day as a holiday. I don't want to say made up, but I'm gonna say made up a little bit as a coin snatcher, as a way to do all these things. And I don't want nobody to treat me like trash or mediocre 364 days out the year. And then when this one day come, now you loving on me and now you buy me all the gifts. I want you to buy me gifts every day. I want you to love on me every day. I want, don't just do it because the calendar says it, right? So for me, even though my husband was still go and buy something small, but I made it very clear, like, do not go and spend no crazy amount of money. Don't go and buy me no crazy gifts. Don't do anything. So he usually kind of keep it all the way minimal down to some flowers. And his thought process is, I'm just gonna do it because I don't want to wake up one day you will change your mind and now you mad at me because I Valentine's Day. So he's just doing it kind of stay on the safe side, but I don't celebrate it. I am not in a, I'm grown. Please don't send me no teddy bear. Like, what are we doing? I don't understand grown women getting teddy bears. I don't understand. Like, it's never been, even as a teenager, it's never been a thing for me. But that's my long and short answer. What you got, friend?
Okay, so I probably would kind of agree with that if I was married. However, I am single. Okay. So I had to get to a point where I would embrace, even though it's a holiday, we got a lot of made up holidays, but it always used to be a thing to me because all my friends would always have Valentine's and they would have the candy and the flowers and the this. And I was like, well, I'm never getting none. And my dad used to buy us gifts growing up for Valentine's Day, or he'll give us money, or he'll buy us an outfit or whatever. So once I got older, and I remember listening to Bishop Jakes, and he was like, if you're not ready to date yourself and go out by yourself and enjoy your own company, then you're not ready to get married. So I took that to heart and I started doing it. And so when Valentine came around, the more I got comfortable with, doing things for myself, oh, child, now I go all out the way. I'm going to get my feet and my nails done. I'm going to me a nice dining place. Even if I don't want to sit there, I'm gonna get it to go. Mm-hmm. And I'm just gonna come home. I'm gonna buy me some fresh flowers because I love fresh flowers. Mm-hmm. But I want to be in the vase. Don't bring me no flowers in no plastic.
Instead of wrapped up in their bag.
Oh, child. No, child, I do not like that. I'm quickly cutting them up. I have learned to arrange my own flowers. Mm-hmm. So for me, flowers, the whole hampering thing, that's me for Valentine's Day. So me and my coworkers was just talking about that today, like what we're gonna do for Valentine's Day.
Okay. So I look at now. Let me say this: if my husband decided to say, "Hey, I want us to go all out for Valentine's Day," I would probably resist it just a tinge, but I wouldn't turn it down. And here's why: I wouldn't turn it down is because I don't ever want to make my husband feel like I'm unappreciative of anything that he do, whether big, small, medium, no matter what the scale is. Now, once we get home and we don't had our date and did all the things, I'm gonna be like, now look, thank you. We did not have to do this. And but that's just me. And I just feel like Valentine's Day be so crowded. It's like you can't even go to McDonald's. Like no. If you haven't got you a restaurant by now, baby, y'all ain't eating.
No.
Y'all not eating. It is what, and it fall on a Friday this year. Baby, this weekend finna be crazy.
But my thing that if I was married or even dating somebody like that, I would do a private dinner. Like I want to hire somebody to come to the house, and I would set it up as if we were at a restaurant. We ain't got to go out.
Yeah,
we'll hire somebody to come in, cook, or even if we pick some up, come and plate it at the house. Now I don't have to be out in the crowd, but we can bring it to the house and have our Valentine at the house.
I agree. We've done it too, where it's been like super quiet, calm. We just here, like just for sake of it's Valentine's Day. Let's. I cooked a piece of steak myself, throw a little scrimps on there or something, try to get all fancy and stuff. But that's it. That's all.
Okay.
But I'm here for it. I do think that every time I think about Valentine's Day, let me get out a fun fact about me. Baby, I love me some girlfriends. Girlfriends is my jam, okay? I love girlfriends. And every time that I think of Valentine's Day, I always think about Joan and how Joan was obsessed with Valentine's Day. And throughout the whole duration of that show, baby Joan never had a good Valentine's Day. It was trash. Every relationship she was in. And let me take it over from worldly to spiritual just a moment, in a way that I do think that because she idolized it so much and it was just a thing and it had to look this way and it had to feel this way and sound this way and smell this way, that her plans always went to crap every time. And I do think that sometimes that we can overthink so many things, which can lead us into our conversation of do you want marriage and if you prepare for it, because marriage is going to be one of them things. It's a freaking roller coaster. I don't care what you envision in your head. I don't even when it comes down to the actual wedding, baby, you can plan this thing to the T. Do you hear me? Every I dotted, every T crossed. And guess what's gonna happen? Some still gonna slip in between the cracks and do some things, right? So the question is, do you want marriage? And if so, are you prepared for said marriage? Now, I'll be honest, for me, I've always kind of looked at myself of the type I never really was like, oh, I want marriage, and this is how I want it to look, this is how I want it to sound, this is what type of dress I want. Like, I was never that girl, right? I never had those thoughts and visions or anything. So, but I was never against marriage either. It was just one of them things. I wasn't like overly thinking about it, and it was one of the things that I was against it either. So I guess in the back of my mind, I feel like, okay, I feel like marriage was something that I always wanted. And was I prepared for marriage? Baby, the answer was no. I don't care how many podcasts there is, including this one, baby. I don't care how many books you read. I don't care what you do. There is absolutely Nathaniel, nothing that can prepare you for marriage. Friend, what you got? I know you want marriage. Are you prepared?
Listen, so this is how I got on this journey because in my mind, I was preparing for marriage. Because when you prepare for marriage, you feel like, well, I'm gonna say society plays a big part in it. Before you get married, you should have your own house, you should have your own car, you should have this done, you should do this, that, and the other. So I always say lately, uh, per the world standards, I was ready for marriage. However, I have learned in these last 2.5 years, I was ready per the world standards and not kingdom standards. And when I say kingdom standards, I mean patience, long suffering. Um, the list went on and on, like the fruits of the spirit. Praying for your husband even before you meet him. Even when you meet him and you're mad at him, you still gotta pray for him. I was like, what? So I feel like the Lord has took me on a personal journey with me and him the last 2 years, and actually gave me real life situations to show me everything that I still needed to work on. And the first lesson that he gave me was patience. Because I'm gonna tell y'all, if y'all know me, patience about this. When I'm done, I'm done. Like you said, what? Oh no, okay. No, I'm done. The Lord was like, love is patience. I'm like, what? Fruits of the spirit, like extending grace to people. And one day God told me, who are you not to extend grace to somebody and I extend grace to you every day. I said, ooh.
He got you together real quick.
Ooh. I'm like, okay, Jesus. Ooh, Lord, I thought I was ready. I wasn't ready. So this has been, I always tell people lately that I feel like I'm in transition from being single to married. And it's the whole process, y'all. I'm here to tell you. If you want to do it, it's, I ain't gonna say it's gonna be perfect. I'm not saying that it's gonna tackle every situation, but it's giving me a different perspective of marriage. Like it's different when you're single and you go from doing everything that you want to do by yourself when you want to do it. You ain't got to do it if you don't want to do it. To actually allowing somebody, you have to make room for another person to come in and to be in your life. And when we've been single and independent for a long time, baby, it's hard because if I ask you to take that trash out, why it's still an hour when it's still here? I'm just gonna go and get it and take it out myself. I'm sure that's gonna cause a problem, but I'm working on it. My best friend and her husband to be at my house, and she said he'll take the trash out for you. I said I don't need him to take my trash out. I'll take my own trash out. Child, he's still working on me a little bit, but I got the most part there. I know how to
close your mouth. So I always say this when it comes to marriage, and we're gonna talk about, what are some steps you should take as to getting prepared for marriage from both perspectives. Now, me and my friend was talking, and I was like, most people aren't divorcing. We know divorce is a high rate. But if you look at the reasons why people are divorcing, they're not divorcing because somebody cheated. They ain't divorcing because reasons why the Bible say you should divorce. They're divorcing because we can't get along. They're divorcing because we just outgrew each other, or they're not even listing a reason at all. They just getting up out of there and they'll put something simple. And I said, the reason why that is because we don't know how to pick and choose our battles. We don't know how to. So because we don't pick and choose our battles, now we're mad, like you said, because he ain't gonna take this trash out when I said it, and it's been an hour, and I'm tired of talking to him. And now it becomes a mothering relationship. He's not your child. He's an adult. Okay? My husband, he gonna be mad at me a little bit. Let me tell him a little bit.
Let me sip my tea.
Let me tell him a little bit. My husband has a habit of taking his water bottles. We both have nightstands on each side of our beds. And his water bottles, his cups, his whatever else he have. And baby, people have a whole collection over there. So at first, it would used to burn me up, and to the point I was just like, don't even say nothing. Leave it alone. Because guess what? Eventually, he do get up on his own. I don't have to say anything. And he'll just start grabbing his stuff and he'll go ahead and throw it away. Now, there have been times I'll be like, now look, your collection is collecting. I would need you to, your collection is collecting. Can you please throw your stuff away or take it downstairs? Or it could be something as simple as my husband likes to run the water when he's brushing his teeth, and I'm like, can you please cut the water off? And you don't realize how these things are, how it can be a big difference. And it sounds small, but don't you believe, you'll know that's the reason why people are divorcing, because of the small stuff. It's the small stuff that they're divorcing. Oh, we just grew apart. No, y'all didn't. Y'all just didn't know how to compromise.
Right.
You didn't know how to compromise. It has nothing to do with growing apart. You didn't know how to compromise. You didn't know. And if the person was growing, you decided to stay back. That's just my thoughts. Okay, what you got, friend? What? Go ahead. You can jump in. That's just my thoughts.
I do believe that to a certain extent. And like my best friend always say, pick your battles. Everything is not a battle. If you know, she always uses this example. If you know that man ain't been making the bed up for I don't know how long, why you constantly saying, why you gonna make the bed up? Why you gonna do this? And just go and do it.
Just do it.
Just do it. And I don't know why I feel like a lot of people too are selfish. And they always say that, you know, when you are ready to get married, you have to be selfless.
Yeah.
And somebody gotta learn how to be quiet or to pull back.
Yep.
Because if both of y'all just going, ain't nobody backing down. We both going what?
Everybody.
Everybody talking. Everybody talking. You talking to be heard and not to understand.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
So, because you know, I'm gonna tell you on the truth. I used to be that type of person that if it's a situation, I want to talk about it now. There is no being quiet, coming back, talking about it. No, I'm on 100. We're gonna settle this now. We're gonna talk about this now.
No,
it might be the person to walk away. No, I don't want to talk about it because I understand now that it's not gonna end well.
Yep.
Because when you on 10 and you just saying how you feel, I've been told so many times, you can say sorry, but once it's out there, it's out there.
Yeah.
And I don't want to get in the habit of constantly having to say I'm sorry. So now I would think about things before I say them.
Yeah. And I think that's pride. When you got to swallow, that's that pride you swallowing, okay? And my friend and I talked about this too. You know, she was like, she was ready to go in on her guy, da 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 da. And I was like, sometimes you got to stop and take a beat. Sometimes every conversation ain't worth having at the time, because when you're mad, you will spew out things that you didn't realize, and you can't take it back. Even if the sorry, sometimes that sorry don't fix it. I'm gonna forgive you, but still in the back of my mind, you said something that got me side-eyed you, and I'm like, wait, you my whole husband and wife? And whoa, you said that about me? And sometimes you really do have to take a beat and take a step back, especially when the person's saying, hey, I'm not ready for this conversation.
Right.
And I think either that person know that they superheated, they just not showing it like how the spouse is showing it. And it's like, wait a minute. We both need to calm down. You know, we both need to take a beat. Let's come back to this. And then when you come back, you can go to you can be more rational when you're talking. Right. And you get more of a level head now that you're talking, because both have calmed down. And for whoever made up the saying, sticks and stone may break my bones, but words would never hurt me, baby, that is the biggest lie ever told to mankind. The biggest lie. Because you can cut yourself right now. You could be in the hospital doing all the things, had to get surgery, get stitched up, do everything. And a year later, you can talk about this and it won't affect you. Baby, somebody tell you something at the age of 15, and here you are 55 years old, and it still brings you to tears to this day. Why? Because words have lasting effects. Even if you are healed and forgave the person, words have a lasting effect. So I do think that it is very important for people to take a beat, hold what you got. Let's come back to it. Walk away. It's okay to walk away.
But we got to practice that before we get married, because we can't get into the marriage and then try to do this, because it's not going to be well, my sisters. It's not going to be well.
It's not. And so that could be number one, going into how to be prepared for marriage. If you're in a relationship and just leading towards marriage, situations are going to come up, disagreements are going to come up. It's reality. You know, there's nobody on this good God green earth that you're going to agree with about everything. There's nobody. You're going to have disagreements. You're not going to like everything. You're not going to nothing of alike, you know. So I do think there is a time, because there's going to come a part where you're disagreeing. Use this as your practice room. Use it now. This is your dressing room. Use the dressing room. fit it out, try it out, know what works. Because when the marriage comes, oh, you thought you was fighting about this, baby. The devil gonna attack even harder when you get married. He attacks even harder. So the little things you think you talking about now, baby, ain't nothing. Oh, you just wait. you just wait, okay? Because it gets harder. The devil do not like marriage. Marriage is something that's honored for people who believe in God. It is honored by God. The devil wants you to stay in sin as long as he wants you to be there. Okay, go have all the sex. Go and sleep with 15 people at one time if you want to. Go do all the things. That's what he's telling you. And then the moment you stop to do right, he gonna throw them attacks at you. He gonna throw them at you. And that's why people be like, baby, we ain't never had none of these problems when we was dating. Where did stuff come from? Why do you like this? What is wrong with you,
Frank? I drink to that.
You'll drink to it. Because it really is a thing. So I will say, number one is use this as your dressing room. That would be my first one as to how to prepare for marriage. Use this as your dressing room, and start to look at everything shouldn't be a fight and everything shouldn't be a battle. Friend, what's your next step for preparation for marriage?
Ooh, I'm still choking. Hold on, give me a second.
Our friend over there having a little hooping hollering over there.
Girl, I'm over here trying to choke me. I must got something to say about trying to drink my tea, but I had little issues going on for a couple of days. But so I feel like, let's see, I went through the preparation, the kind of the transition. I'm still on patience. I'm still on just
okay.
So I'm gonna say really what my thing is right now is releasing control. Like that was a big one. That is a big one for me. And I think probably 2 years ago at the beginning of my journey, the Lord told me I had to release control because I was too independent, too self-reliant. And I said, that was true. So I had to release control, and it all started with God, releasing control to God, because I'm quite sure when I get married, I ain't gonna be able to control stuff.
Yeah.
So it started with God and me releasing control. So, but you know how we always want to help somebody out or help the Lord out and try to, let me help you in that. So that is my thing now. Totally releasing control. And another word that I have never been able to do is go with the flow.
Baby, that's my favorite thing to do. Go
Girl, no ma'am.
I don't need no itinerary for Nathaniel. I don't need one.
Hey, Caitlin, child. Go with the flow scares me to death because I'm like, I want to know what's happening. When this gonna happen? How this gonna happen? Oh Lord. But I done got a whole lot better because my other word I learned was to modify and adjust. And like when stuff would happen out of my plan, it would throw me off and I'd just be like, oh my God, what I'm gonna do? And my friend Carla, when we work together, she'd be like, okay, we're just gonna modify and adjust. It's okay. It's okay. Yeah. Let's just do this. Let's just move this and do that and whatever. Because my plan, I already had it planned out to the T how we're gonna do this and the other. So that is something that I am still working on, just naturally going, know that I have done the work, I have prepared, I have gotten closer to God. I'm gonna keep him first. And I'm just trying to go with the flow of how he's gonna do things.
Okay. Another thing I think you should do to prepare for marriage is, how people write out their vision, their goals, and all of those things. I think in preparing for marriage, write out what you want from a husband and stick to it. And the reason why I say that in preparation of marriage is because like you said, there's a worldly stand view, and then there's, you know, what God requires. And everything can't be about him being 6'6" with a six pack, you know, he making $500,000 and he got the bag and he can jet set and okay, that don't keep you warm at night. That don't be your comfort. That's not, you know, unfortunately, it's not a sustainable thing, right? You good financially, which is a good thing, and nothing wrong with that, and you know, being secured. However, you want somebody that you can talk to, somebody that can be your friend, so you know, who can now become your new best friend in your now newfound relationship. So I definitely say write out what it is that you want from a man. What do your ideal husband look like? Now, when I say this, let's be realistic, okay?
Come on now, bring it back now.
Let's be realistic in our talking and what we're asking for. Let's use weight, because weight for some reason for women is just, you can't tell a woman she's not, you know, snatched and all the things. If you want your man to have a six pack, more than likely that man is a gym rat. Guess what you need to be? You need to be a gym rat too, because there's no reason for him to be doing all of this, and don't require nothing from somebody that you don't first do on yourself.
Right.
Don't do that. And that's why I think the list needs to make sense. Go ahead. What you got, Fred?
Right. No, I was gonna say, just because like that, like I like to work out, go to the gym, but I don't want you telling me I need to work out, and I'm not gonna bother you about working out. That's what I like to do. That's what I need to do. Now, if you want to come along, okay. But to say, because my friend asked me, did I have to date somebody that likes to go work out? Because I work out. They don't have to. But I'm going over here to this park and I'm gonna exercise, but that's not a requirement. But I just gave a book to this girl today, and it was 31 day prayer for my future husband. And in that book, every day it lists different characteristics for God to work on and to give you thought process of things that you would like to have. Like you said, past the looks and the figure and all that stuff. Because, you know, when you get to a certain age, baby, everything gonna shake and some stuff gonna move. So they need to have the good on the inside and the mindset, and like it's way past what they look like. Like, even if they got money, you have money, but are you stingy with your money? Do I gotta beg or ask or try to go slide some money from the bill folder to go and buy me some nice stuff? Are you responsible with your money? Because you can make a lot of money, and if you're not responsible with it, it's like we broke.
Yep. Living beyond your means.
Or not being responsible and learning how to do things. And I told one of my friends that it is very important for me now. I feel like dating somebody, especially when you want to be married, that they live by themselves. The man lives by himself, like for real, whether it be an apartment or a house, because that tells me that you know how to pay bills. You got your own, you paying rent, house note, you paying light bill, you paying all these things. You know how to pay bills. I know how to pay bills. So we got to come together. Who gonna do what? Like, it's a plan that I feel like a lot of people don't talk about even before they get married. And then we get married and think stuff's supposed to change. No, we didn't. You didn't have a problem with it before we got married. So why are you talking about it now?
And I'm gonna piggyback off that and make this number 3. In preparation of marriage, have the hard conversations. Have the hard conversations. Do not waste the people's time. If you know you don't want no cheering and he talking about he want to have a football team, cut it loose. If you want to live in the city, he want to live in the country, cut it loose. Now, there could be some times where people can be like, hey, I'm willing to bend. But if you are wanting something and it's a hard yes for you and a hard no for him, or vice versa, don't waste the people's time. Have the hard conversations. And kind of going back to why divorce is on the rise, because people not having the hard conversations. We're not talking. Because we just so caught up, and he's so cute and she's so fine, and he called me and we went out of town and he bought me some shoes, and he, we caught up in the mess. That's mess at the end of the day. Because baby, MLG and the W don't give a darn about no new shoes he just bought you.
Yes,
they don't care.
No.
They don't care about the butterflies he gave you. They don't care. It doesn't matter. But we're not having the hard conversations. And again, we go back to the, oh my God, where did this come from? Because y'all didn't talk.
Right. Or the other thing that I had to learn, you can't change nobody.
And there's that.
Like, what he said is what he said, baby. Mm-hmm. And if he changes his mind, which he can, it's only because he wants to change his mind or God changed him. Them the only two reasons that somebody's gonna change their mind, because most of the time they said what they said now. But
they said what they said.
So said, nah, man, well, oh, he gonna change his mind.
Mm-hmm.
He gonna come around. Baby, he ain't. If the Lord don't put it in his heart to do it, he even do.
Yeah, I'll say this too, though, because I'm gonna come back to that. I do think that it is, a thing to where I want women to also know that, baby, you can't keep no man and no baby ain't either. Okay. I don't care how good you think your golden goose is in between your legs. It don't mean absolutely nothing. Okay. Because the reality of it is a man is kept because he want to be kept. It ain't nothing that you doing. Because some of these women can be flipping over backwards, popping on a handstand, have his water ran, food cooked, and still being cheated on. A man is kept because he want to be kept.
Mm-hmm.
And the Lord is keeping him. Okay. But it ain't nothing by your own power, might, or anything that you got going on. And I know we live in the worlds of the Glorrillas and the Cardi B's and the baby. Cardi B talking about how she was a whole wop and her husband was still out here cheating on her, doing the thing. So that's why I said that part.
Mm-hmm.
Now, let me say this about women, because me and my friend always kind of differ on this. And tell me what y'all think in the chat. And Dina, you definitely tell me what you think. I always feel like the woman always have the ball in her court. That is just my personal opinion. So let me tell you what I think about that. And this just in life in general. People treat you how you allow them to treat you.
Mm-hmm.
That it is what I don't care if it's a female friendship. I don't care if you're siblings. Your co-workers, even all the way down to your mate. People going to do what you allow them to do.
Right.
And I think in relationships, I feel like the woman always have the ball in her court. And here's why. If we look at it from sex, if we look at it from dating, if we look at it from giving them our heart, whatever the case may be, it's what we decide to let happen.
Mm-hmm.
They can't move unless we move. They can't go forward unless we go forward. And most of the time, I feel like we as women, now don't confuse the two, because I want us to use our mind and our good godly sense and not our pocketbook in between our legs to make our decisions. Because that's what a lot of women do. We want to use our pocketbook to feel like we got the man on lock and this is that and he mine and he got no. I want us to use our mind and our good godly good sense that he gave each and every last one of us. And we have the ball in our court. Like if he's messing up, or let's just use sex. Because people don't know how to keep it in the pants no more. Let's just use sex. Right? He can't get it unless you open it up and give it to him. It's on you to stick to you being celibate. It's on you to stick to I'm gonna wait till marriage. It's on you to do that. The ball in your court.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
How you're treating me, how in our relationship or whatever the case may be, the ball is, he's gonna move how you move. If you were, I don't give a darn, he gonna be all right. I don't need to then. Oh, if you easy, I'm gonna treat you easy.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
That's just me.
Okay.
I'm
I've
just
heard that several times.
And if you're wanting stuff to change again and you want the relationship to adjust, the man is going to move off of you.
Mm-hmm.
If you're gonna be all lackadaisy about it, oh, I don't care. It don't matter. We can be good. What you think he gonna do?
What you just said, we good.
Oh, that's fine. Well, shoot. She think she don't care. Let me call Keisha real quick. Keisha.
No, now you trying to get them beat down now. Wait a minute now.
Woo, Chalet. Okay, go ahead, friend. But that's just my thoughts. Let me read this. Nicole says, I agree. Men are hunters. They want who they want and they will do what it takes to keep you. I agree. I think that if they really like you and know the difference between them liking you and them just wanting you. That's why I think it's good to keep sex off the table. Keep it off the table. Because you can really see a man's intention from the beginning.
That is true. I agree with all of that.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
You got anything else you want to add? Anybody in the chat, do y'all want to add in some things? Which I think we skipped over as in preparing for marriage. I think the biggest thing is definitely have the conversation. Have a hard conversation. Have the hard conversation.
Early.
This is your dressing room. Get prepared in the dressing room.
Because it's a lot.
It's a lot.
It's a lot to cover. And it's a lot. So let me ask you this.
Uh-huh.
So somebody I think they posted on Facebook today. What do you think about like people meeting, getting engaged and married within the same year?
Oh, I'm all for it. If let me do this big if the work has been done. If the work has been done. What do I mean by that? Y'all have had the conversations. Y'all are on the same page morally. You don't have the hard conversations. You like I said, you done done the work. I don't think nobody, I tell my friends this all the time. A man know he wants you and you wife material within him meeting you right then and there. He already know. It don't take me, in my opinion, men know what they want. Men know who the girls who going. Men know we complicate things. Men know the people they gonna meet to their mama, who they gonna sit over to their mama. Men gonna know who's wife material. They already know. They already know. If they can't even commit as being boyfriend and girlfriend, baby, what you think they finna do as husband and wife? Ain't gonna happen. They're gonna red flag right there.
So we got Rule we got a man on the chat tonight. We have Rule on here, and he says a woman should know within 3 months whether or not if the man is for her. Then he posted
if the man is for her.
Whether the man is for her or not.
We lost Dana real quick. She'll be back.
You lost
Can you hear me now?
I'm here.
There you go. You had went out for a minute. There you go, girl. We was doing good. You back.
Okay, then he put within 6 months they should be engaged and planning the future.
I'm not mad at it.
I'm not mad at it either. However, I have learned this. I'm gonna take it back a minute, even before you get married. So what I have learned too, that we all know that everybody's marriage is different, right?
Correct.
And I feel God has different plans for some people marriage. So I've gotten to where even I do feel that sometimes even if you meet a person, they could be the person, but it still may be a process to that person. Just like, you would think that you meet somebody and it's just gonna just Wayne dang doodle go off all the time. Sometimes that is true. And then sometimes it's still a process in the process, if that makes sense to you.
I don't know. I don't know if that makes sense. Elaborate without, I guess.
So it made sense. It didn't make well. It made sense as the process was going on. So when I say people getting married, so I feel like I use myself. So I feel like me being married is bigger than just me getting married, right? So I feel like it is bigger than just me. So I feel like I had a little more work to do in the process. When I said that I thought I was ready on the front end, but then I was like, no, I had to still go through this process. So, I feel like I still had some processing to do.
So is that because you needed some more self-work?
Yes.
Okay.
And,
okay, well, I can see it from there. Okay.
And then so I wouldn't have never done the self-work or even know about it had I not went through this journey or this process, right?
Okay.
Because it made me, instead of, how we always looking at the other person and what they need to do and they need to do this, it turns the mirror around to yourself and show you the things that you need to work on. I was like, oh, I thought I had all that together. He said, no. Let me show you.
Okay.
Oh, okay. So okay, all right. So that was just my transparent moment for the night because baby, I got some work to do.
So within 6 months, so many people will be like, I ain't know about had 6 months. They representative are still showing. People say all the things. Here's what I think about that. I do think there are times where I don't think it take all day for you to know if you want to be with this person. Especially if you're dating for marriage. Now, if you're just casually dating and all the things, that's when it kind of go back to have the conversation. Let it be known. I ain't over here for a long time, just over here for a good time. Let the people know, because I do think that some people will get in a relationship and they have no intentions on being nothing more outside of this relationship, and then won't even call it a relationship. Oh, we just chilling, we cool. I like her, she like me. It ain't nothing serious. We just cooling, right? So and that goes back to the hard conversations. But I think when you're having the hard conversations and y'all on the same page and y'all on the one accord, I'm not mad at in 6 months that, hey, y'all can possibly be engaged. But I don't understand the whole we together. And I lived it. Let me tell you this. I'm not saying this as a judgmental thing. I lived it. Like I said, y'all go back to 1 and 2, then y'all to hear my part. But when my husband and I got back together, at the time we wasn't married, when we ended up getting back together and he proposed to me for the second time, I said yes. It was all cute in front of people. Woo, woo, woo. But when we got back to the privacy of our domain, I said, let me tell you something. This ain't finna going to be no engagement of 5 years again, baby. Either we gonna get married, we not finna waste time. We got 2 kids in. I known you for 100 years already, but we not doing this. And he was like, okay. To me, that okay. And it wasn't, and some people may take it as an ultimatum. Maybe it was, I don't know. I just laid the groundwork. Right. And I think it goes back to, again, what we said in the beginning of preparation. Know what you want in a man. He'll let you know if he wants you. Now, if he was still trying to play games, a lot of people be having, just because I got the ring don't mean a thing. If he's not, it doesn't matter. It's jewelry. It holds up nothing at the end of the day.
Right.
It's nothing. And for him to say, okay, whenever you're ready, I'm ready. That showed to me, oh, he a changed man, and oh, he's serious about this thing. Oh, let's go ahead and move forward. Because some people, some men, not all, let me say this, use the ring and the engagement as to buy them some more time, to string
Right.
you along a little bit longer. But
Right.
as a woman, you need to, you know what you want. Stop right there. We're gonna do all the cute stuff. Let's take all the pictures, all the engagement, all the stuff. Now that we done got back, let me tell you something, sir. We're not doing this.
Listen,
We're not
when I
doing
get a ring, y'all got 30 days. 30. Count them down. So you better have yourself already prepared and laid out. 30 days. Like you said, it don't take no long time.
it. We'll
And
take
if
it.
we can't afford to have
A wedding.
whatever, the nice wet, baby, listen, we going to get married. We got 30 days.
Yep.
Whatever is open is open.
Yep.
We don't here at the Chevy Farms at the park.
Outside. Come on.
Cause like, no, for what?
Yep.
For what? And me and my coworker, we were talking, and I was talking about a wedding. And she said, well, you got your you got a homework assignment for me to write down like how much I want to spend, because I ain't gonna tell y'all how much I say I want to spend on the wedding, because I'm gonna be shamed because she's talking about me on there. She was like, what? I'm like, I would not spend that kind of money on a wedding for one day. And I know I'm gonna want a new house with all new furniture. I want a new car. I want to go this, that, and the other. Like, come on, y'all. It don't take all that.
It don't.
It does not.
To be honest, the wedding is really for other people. It's not for you, because you're feeding them. You're doing all the other stuff. But I'll say this: I'm not mad at big weddings. Let me say this: I'm not mad at people with the glitz and the glams and doing all the things. I'm not mad at it if you can afford it. If you cannot afford it, baby, I'm gonna need you to stop. I'm gonna tell you the funniest thing. I was on the TikTok, and they was telling this story about a man and a woman who had gotten married, and they had spent this crazy amount of money on their wedding, and they ended up, and I may be getting it mixed up somehow, but anyway, they told their guests that they need to give them X amount of money so they can pay back all the stuff that they, yes ma'am, it's a real story. So they can pay back all the things. So that was like, they maxed out credit cards, they took out a second loan on their house, like they did some crazy stuff. And they were mad because their wedding gifts wasn't the money that they asked for. So let's say they invited 200 people and they want every person to give them $300 as they wedding gift. I'm gonna have to find it and send it to you. I'm gonna find it and send it to you. Like, it's a real thing. And they got on live, thought that they was doing something right. And people was like, first of all, don't nobody owe you anything. Second of all, don't be going out here spending all this money that you do not have. And not because you in debt, you want to blame them because they should have done that. But I said I did say this: I'm not mad at big weddings. Just be able to afford it. Don't put yourself in a hole and all the things, and you in the red when it's time for you to go on your honeymoon. Or you can't have a honeymoon because you in the red, or whatever the case may be. Like, if you're gonna do it, but stay within your budget. It's okay to have a budget. It's all right.
You need to have a budget.
You definitely need to have one, but it's okay to have a budget. It's all right. Ruel says, in 6 months, you can see if they will do or me'll do. I agree with that. I do feel like in 6 months, the representative is starting to wear off a little bit. They start to get a little bit more comfortable with you, even with women. You see me with full face all the time. Now all of a sudden, I may not be full face. I may just have on lashes and lipstick. After a while, it may come down to I just got lashes and some chapstick on.
Right.
You And you do eventually start to let your guard down. And I agree with that. You can tell if people paying attention, because people don't want to pay attention. The red flags be there and people don't be wanting to look.
Right. But it still all goes back to what I said, baby. We got to have discernment and we got to have the Lord. Because even when they representatives stand up and sit down, the Lord will show you some things.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying. Because what's the song say? I gotta take the Lord with me everywhere I go. So I'm saying this. So I be trying not to be, you don't want to be so spiritual, but I just gotta have give it how it is.
Mm-hmm.
So I had went out with this guy, right? It was some years ago. And when I talked to him on the phone, I had knew him from back in the day. We had went out a long time ago. Mm-hmm. So I was like, okay, he ain't got no kids. I ain't got no kids. He doing good. He this, that, and the other. Okay, it's going to be the perfect match. Perfect match. So we went out on a date. The whole day, we had just sat there. Just talked about himself the whole time. Then he had the nerve to even ask me to box up his food for him. Like I was on an interview. So I was like, okay. So I went out and did it because, I'm trying to do things differently. I'm trying to, I'm trying to see, in order to get a different result, you got to do something different, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I walked on out, got in the car. I don't even know if the guy texted me to see if I made it home, for one. Then, even though when I got home, I still was like, in my mind, because the main thing was he didn't have any kids. So, that's very rare these days. So, you were like, I'm going to try to stick it out because, he ain't got no kids. So that's less drama. So, did not hear from him anymore after that day at all. So, one day I was walking in my bedroom and I was like, God, why such and such didn't call me back? Like, he ain't had no kids. He was a perfect candidate. And I promise you, just as clear as I'm talking to you, I heard because he wasn't the one and it was not the right time. I turned around, I said, who was that? And I was like, okay. And I went on about my business. I never called him again, never thought nothing else about it. But I asked the Lord and he told me, you wasn't the right one and it ain't time. So, okay, I went on about my business. This has been probably about 7 years. And I just, because the Lord can see on down the road.
Sure can. He's Alpha and Omega. He know the beginning as well as the end, okay? And all the in-betweens. He already knows. He knows.
Yeah, he already know. And if you ask him, I can guarantee you he'll tell you. So if you don't want to know, don't ask him.
Don't ask the question.
This stage in my life right now, I want to know because it's some stuff out here. It's some stuff out here, and I thank God that he didn't cover me for all these years and I ain't ran into no foolishness.
Yeah.
Because the people can get you. You got some what they say, smooth criminals out here.
Okay, they good. They be good in the skimming and the scamming. They good. And you'll be knowing they tell you that these people out here doing stuff. They good. Woo, child, y'all, we done did it again. We done went over our 45 minutes. We done
Listen, child.
Maybe we're going to say it's going to be an hour long, child, because we keep going over. We keep going over. So, okay, you know what we should talk about next week? What are some deal breakers in relationships? What are you willing to put up with?
That's a good one. Let me write that down in case we forget.
Because you know I will. Stuff be coming to me off the fly. Y'all, let me tell y'all something. I don't have anything written down. I don't have no notes. I'm just out here talking.
We just winging it.
Literally, just talking. So yeah, they just came to me. What are some deal breakers? And what are you willing to put up with?
I already got my answers. I gotta write this down so I won't forget. I'm just gonna write down my answers, y'all. I ain't gonna write down no skit or nothing, because baby, we just
not no skit.
go with the flow. But
yep, that's exactly
yeah,
what
I
he
got
did.
some deal breakers because it's a show that I watched called Later Dating.
Oh, I
Later.
said I was gonna look at that. I
Child.
said I was gonna look at that. Yeah.
It was one couple on there that was very interesting, and I'm done after this. And the man went out with this lady, and she was asking him, "Do you drink?" He was like, "No." She was like, "Do you smoke?" He was like, "No." And so she checking all the box off. So he looking at her like she getting too happy. So when she left, and he was talking on screen, and then he was talking to his friend, one of his it was a lady that was his friend, honey. It was his ex girlfriend. I don't know how that happened. I missed that story. So he was saying how she was just sitting there checking off all the boxes and this. And I know a lady her age likes to be at church all the time. And that ain't what I'm trying to do. He was like, I have a relationship with God. Like I'm spiritual, but I'm not religious.
Mm.
Red flag and deal breaker.
She said it was the baby mama.
That was his baby mama I'm trying to figure out how you his coach and he going on dates with other people. Like that didn't make sense to me. But anywho, so that got me and my friend talking to what's the difference in spiritual and religious. And that was a deal breaker for me because I told her I felt like spiritual meant he believe in God, he know God, but religious means I'm not going to church. Don't ask me to go to church.
So I'm the opposite. Oh, okay. I don't know how. Okay, we ain't got time. Okay, I will say this. I'm the opposite. When people say they spiritual, I'm raising my eyebrow. Here's why. A lot of people say they spiritual and they dipping and they dabbing in the other stuff. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
They playing with the little piece of witchcraft, a little voodoo, a little hoodoo, a little juju. They playing in the stuff. So my eyebrows raised when people say they're spiritual.
Hey, that's what I said.
You know, when people say that they're not religious, I'm not mad at people not saying they're not religious. And here's why. Because I think religious can be a systematic thing. You're
Right.
doing it out of
Tradition.
tradition. I got to go to church because it's Sunday.
I just learned all this.
Yeah, I got to go to church. So when people say they're not religious, I'm not going to give them the, hold up, you ain't for me. Well, of course I'm married. Or looking at you sideways. I'm not, because I'm over the youth department in my church, and I'm telling them, relationship with Jesus is more important than religion.
Right.
You get caught up in religion so much. Go to
Right.
church because it's Sunday. Pay your offering and tithes because they tell you to. Do all of this. It's being more done on a systematic thing. I'm not going to raise my eyebrows to that. The spiritual part, what you mean by spiritual? Because when you say spiritual, I'm thinking I believe in Jesus and I believe in astrology.
Yeah.
I
Mm-hmm.
believe in Jesus, but I also feel like, I can do some sage in the house and some stuff. Like I believe in Jesus, but I also believe in, the other
It's
stuff.
some butts going on. It's a whole lot of butts going
Right.
on.
It's a lot of butts. So the religion part don't bother me. It's that spiritual thing that have me like,
Where the religion thing, I gotta have some what you mean. I gotta have some breakdown on it. Cause when he said that he didn't want to go to church, he was like, I know she want to go to church. Women her age be at church all the time. So he was like, I'm not interested in doing that. So we have to get some deep conversation because it depends on what their religious mean.
well, we can see that. Okay. I'm looking at religious as systematic, legalistic. It's tradition. That's how I kind of look at religion. That spiritual stuff, I need you to break down. To me, you have to break down that spiritual. What do spiritual mean to you? Make sure we on the same page as spiritual. What's up, G Bay? Who baby? How you doing, friend? Nicole said, what spirit? Ruel said, spiritual means really involved in church, Sunday, Wednesday, and Saturday. Jesus hanging on the wall. Religious mean I go to church on Sunday and I pray. So do you mean spiritual in a...
Because you can be religious and involved in church Sunday, Wednesday, and Saturday and all them days. But now I'm gonna say, even for myself, I've learning the difference between religion and relationship. Like you said,
yeah,
relationship is way more important. But because we have been so traditionalized and, like you said, systematic all these years,
that's where the religion come in at.
Yeah, I'm learning some things, and I just learned that.
Yeah, and reason why I've been reading Matthew like a lot. Okay, maybe this turned into a little piece of Bible study. Okay, I've been reading Matthew for like, I've been stuck on Matthew almost like 2 years. Of course, I read other things, but Matthew, baby, go to Matthew, and it pretty much sums up the Bible. Just sums up what life is, right, as a Christian. But if you go to Matthew, and throughout Matthew, you know, that's when Jesus is talking to his disciples. He's teaching them right before he gets crucified, all the things, right? And he tells them, don't be like the religious leaders. He tells us in the Bible, do not be like the religious leaders. They're hypocrites. They out here looking like they save and all the things, but they ain't. Their heart is far from me. It's religious. It's a look. It's a thing. That's all it is. You know. So like when they were going to, I think they was about to wash their hands, or his disciples ate. This is Matthew's, was eating the food, and the disciples did not go and wash their hands. And the religious leaders, the priest, said, "Wait a minute. Why your folks ain't over there watching?" And I'm paraphrasing, y'all. I have to read the Bible like I'm talking to my friend, okay? So I interpreted for me to understand, okay? So, you know, the religious leaders like, hey, Jesus, why your boys ain't washing their hands? You know, what you doing? Like, that ain't no God. We wash our hands over here before we eat. So he was like, first of all, what difference does it make as long as their heart is clean? And he was doing another parable as you want to look like you righteous, but you're far from it. And just because they look dirty on the outside, guess what? Their hearts are pure and clean on the inside. So that's why I think when it comes to when people say religious, I'm like, okay, I'm not mad at that. G Baby Who Baby said church is a business too. It is. I mean, it is. I'm not going to debate that at all. I do think it is a business, but I also think too, in anything, if you pervert it, it will be bad. So even if you have a clothing business, it's a business, but you can also pervert it at the same time, but it's no longer a good business.
Right.
You know, you can do bad business. You got bad customer service. It all still works the same, in my opinion. I think we look at church and feel like we got to give church so much leeway because it is church. But then we go to the hot wing place and they charge us for every wing, every ranch dressing. They nasty. They got a stank attitude. And we set ourselves up every time. And we complain every time.
Right.
We keep setting ourselves up. And somebody tell you, girl, your skirt too short, and now you're mad. Now you got church hurt. Now you can't go to church no more.
That's why I don't go to church, because they did this. The same people at the restaurant did the same thing to you, or at Walmart, or wherever you go.
Well, hey, there we have it. But I do agree. Church is a business too, but it is some things. But y'all, this will turn to a little piece of a Bible study, okay?
I'm here for it. I'm here for it. The Lord gets all the glory. Yes, it does.
We get to talk to a little piece of Bible study. All right, you guys, we're really went over our time. We're at an hour and 10, child. Let us go ahead and get off. Before we do, y'all already know what to do. If y'all not subscribed, I forget it again. Then you have to remind me to get your link to put in. You have to remind me. If y'all knew how much stuff I be having going on at one time, baby, I need to write me a list. I be having to write stuff out, do all the things.
You know, that's what happened when you almost turning 40.
Okay, the 40s is kicking in. It is kicking hard. Okay, it's coming. But if you haven't subscribed to Dina's channel, please go over there and subscribe to her channel. Her channel is Journey with Dina. Please go over there, subscribe, like, and comment. Do all the things, okay? And also, if you haven't subscribed to me, girl, what you waiting on? Sir, what you worried on? Go on over there. My name is Deep Conversation with Sean. And go ahead and hit that subscribe button. And for both of us, go ahead and hit that notification bell. Hitting that notification bell lets y'all know that we are on live, okay? And y'all can come and catch us in living color. Replay game, y'all already know. Drop down in the comments. Let us know that you're back watching it because you didn't catch us the first time. All right. Okay. So that's all we got. We really don't have, we probably do have more, but we're going to cut it off. Okay. We're going to save some. We're going to save some for next week. Same time, same place. We'll be back for the Let's Unload podcast. We'll see you guys and we'll talk to you guys in the next video.